sir, because you'll come up with so many excuses. Okay. Now, if his excuses are valid, okay, using paper, open, list to him the reasons why the things you think is he's saying that it's not valid. Show him why it is valid, based on management, based on management. And then also, that's the reason why every time I'm always telling our managers or leaders, every time we conduct a feedback session or whatever you call it, a counseling session or a disciplinary session, always when you have it in your cabin, always have it available with you, your CRR, the company rules and regulation, or your code of conduct, or your SOPs. So that in the event that you have to discuss it with him, like for example, he still insists, no. Okay, officer, so first of all, I already gave you a good sign, you did a good job, and I commend you for that. And I'm telling you now, there are some things that you have to correct, and you have to do it because it's your job to do it. Now, I don't need to remind you, but you're insisting that you're correct, but I need to remind you that based on your job description, or based on your company rule, our company rule, okay, can you read this? That, as officer, I have to, see, it's all there. What I'm telling you is all here. It's SOB, it's company rules and regulations. Now, you realize now that what I'm saying to you is true. You accept this now? Because it's company rules and regulations. If he says yes, well and good, then that's the end of the feedback. And if he still insists, no. Okay, Officer Smith, I already gave you the documents to prove that this is standard operating procedure, and you still believe that you're right. Okay, just for documentation. So you put your usual feedback form. Can you just sign here? Just the document that we did this feedback session. Just sign. Just let him sign. Again, there's some situation. No, sir, I won't sign. It's okay. I'll just sign in your presence. Refuse to sign, write his name, and then write your name. Okay, thank you. This feedback session is over. Thank you very much. But you have the document now. And it's now a basis if you have to send it home next week. And if you do that, that's still under due process. Then you have done due process. You have given him ample time to improve himself. You gave him the opportunity to correct himself. But he still insists, no, I'm still correct. This is already the SOP. You're still saying you're correct. Okay, just receive this. Then you have the document. Then we did it under due process. If we send him home next week because he's creating a lot of trouble, because one bad apple will contaminate the rest. Because, again, going back to judgment call, leadership, we have to be decisive. We have to be strong. Because there are just some people, who will just brag and say when they go back to work area, see, I can handle the captain. He's afraid of me. There are people like that. They will brag. And if you allow him to continue that, he will affect you. He will affect you. So using your judgment call now, you have to send him home next week. If he still shows that kind of behavior in the next 5 days, using your observation, close observation, then you have to make your judgment call. Disciplinary action inside the ship or send him home. So the importance, again, of judgment calls in our leadership tasks. Incidentally, based on your company rules and regulation or code of conduct, others call it code of conduct, others call it policy. I have a question. An employee under you, say insubordination, what is your usual penalty? If it's first violation. Normally it's first violation, second violation.
Warning,
Okay, good. Okay, based on that, let's give him warning. Very good. Then based on that, let's give him the warning. Because then, Officer Smith, I'm already telling you to do this. As your captain, I'm already telling you to do this. And you're insisting you're not going to do it. Okay. This will serve as the first warning.
This is okay actually where it's a clear-cut case of subordination, but where it is a question of competence, which you perceive as incompetent, he perceives as being competent, then what do you do?
See here, in PK, I've learned this over the last few years. If you identify a gap in competence, the scope system is designed for you to identify the gap and make him competent in that particular competence again. So he needs to redo those competencies, revalidate those. If you are able to, if he becomes competent, after that, then, you use the system properly and it's working now.
Yeah.
But if it's continues the same way, then you have to go to this verbal warning or
That's
As far as TK is concerned, otherwise this due process doesn't work in some companies.
Even you have due process. That is part
that's
of
the warning. That's the warning and the due process. The
In
warning
some
is the
company
warning.
doesn't work because the guy you want to get rid of is related to someone in a very high position and obviously.
Better off.
So
At least you have done your part.
yeah, this is done.
It's
Right.
not satisfactory.
Due process is again from your side.
Stand up overnight and say, I don't want this guy on board, it's not going to work like that. You need to build up a case.
Yeah.
See, you have to have a legal basis or a rational basis for what you're saying. I accept that. But the issue is, we don't have issues of insubordination as so much as having a bloody cook who can't cook here or something like that.
No, there are cases.
Yes, yes,
How do you
There are
handle those?
cases.
That's the problem. And they are the ones who stay along.
Your question on how, the guidebook is just the company rules and regulation. If it says there first penalty, warning, or if it's first penalty there, it's already suspension or send
No,
home.
no,
We
it's a
just have
question
to
of
follow.
not, again, for example, you say that tell the cook that your food is not good. He says my food is very good.
Oh, that's not immediately insubordination.
Exactly.
That's not immediately
That
insubordination.
is nowhere insubordination. But then the job for which he has been employed, people are dissatisfied with that.
Okay.
I'm talking about competence and incompetence, not subordination and
So let's just talk specifically, okay? Let's say the food. You're talking about the cook, right?
example, yes.
Yeah, the food. Okay. So if you're commenting on the quality of food, you're saying it's not according to par, or what they expect.
Exactly.
Okay? That's not exactly insubordination.
Like we had a cook on one
You're
day,
just-
he used to make only seafood.
That
He used
is,
to make food, we used to throw it in the sea.
it's just poor quality of work. It's just poor quality of work, which falls under just general feedback, not yet counseling, not yet warning. So you call him to your cabin and just say, cook, how are you? Sir, how long have you been with me? Sir, have you ever been with me in previous voyages? No, sir, this is the first time. Okay. But anyway, there are times I like your cooking, but for the past few days, I kind of noticed the entree is off. It's really off. So, and a lot of our crew members are complaining. So, this is what I want you to do. Okay? You tell him as the captain. So, you're asking a while ago how. You guide him as the captain. This is what you do. Now, if he insists, no, I am the owner. No, but you have to insist, I am the captain. And I'm telling you now, the feedback of a lot of our crew members is this. They don't like it, they don't like the case, and therefore it will affect their work, it will affect productivity. Okay? So this one. So just cite specifics, very, very specific. The general guideline, my friends, is to be always specific. Because in a session, be it feedback, counseling, warning session or what, if you are not specific, it will always be open to debate. I'm telling you, he will debate the cook, the bosun, the able-bodied seaman, he will always debate. But if it's very specific, you cite what was the violation, specific violation, for quality of food or what, okay? When it happened, the date, time even, I tell you, he has no escape. He will paint himself to the corner, and he will just tap out. Yes, Captain. Okay, I will follow you. He will tap out. If you stick to the specifics. This is the ground and pound technique here. You have to give him specifics. Because if you don't give him specifics, it will be open to debate. and he will grapple you, and he will pin you down because of technicality. But if you cite specific, what was the violation, or quality, or what, when it happened, the date, the time, or more so if you have witnesses. Let's say it was in subordination, there were witnesses, a fellow officer heard it, or a crew member heard it, so must have been. And then, of course, you're always guided by your company rules and regulation handbook, or your code of conduct. Always have it handy. You always have it with you? Always.
Code of conduct.
Yeah, code of conduct in your office. Because it will always be your guideline.
It's in every individual's file.
Yeah, that's true. Then we do things, the right way. We do things the right way. Now, question. We mentioned earlier about the judgment call earlier. Remember the earlier slides discussed judgment call. If this is his first violation, and it's not really that, grave, just give him a pep talk. We call it a pep talk in some industries. Not a disciplinary immediately. Just give him a pep talk. Hey, how are you? Hey, just want to give you a feedback. I'm quite satisfied with the kind of work you've been doing for the past few days. But I know you're very good. I mean, last week you were very good. Kind of. Is there any problem? Sorry, I got a letter from my wife who wants to divorce me. Things like that. Okay. So you have to probe him, because maybe he's just under duress. Maybe he's just under stress. So again, using judgment call. If it's just the first violation and he's not really making a lot of noise, just give him a pep talk. And then when you dismiss him, okay, I expect better behavior starting today. Okay, good. I know you can do it. And
Actually, recently I signed off at 1 KB on board because of his home problems.
Yeah.
Having some trouble with wife, with
Correct.
separation. So I decided not to have him on board rather than
Oh, you decided not to have him.
yeah, because he
You
was
should have talked to him, you should have asked him, you should have tried to help him. You should have talked to his wife.
after all those things. No, he was becoming dangerous on board.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay,
Because-
there's the
because
qualifier.
People are not professional anymore. You got many airline pilots who fly into mountains because they are having trouble with their wives here.
Yeah.
And this
That's
is
very
because
specific.
you pamper them, they are being treated like kid gloves. Wife is having a problem, no tell me, I will tell my friend to go and meet your wife. We are supposed to make life easier for them. You are not supposed to be professional, you are not to say I have come to do my bloody job, I will do that.
It was very evident from his behavior after some time.
So you had to send him home.
I have to.
See, and the qualifier that he used, because he was beginning to be dangerous. That's a
You had specific instances of
Judgment call now.
dangerosity.
Maybe you will,
No, it was a judgment call.
maybe you will create more problems.
Yeah.
I had a
With
second
wife,
Just,
I had a second mate who was not getting relieved and he kept telling me, sir, my wife is going to divorce me. And he's telling me, sir, look at the SMS she sent me. I said, I don't want to read your SMS. It became so bad that I told him, yeah, we were crossing Malta. I said, well, let's go inside. And this is without due process.
yeah.
This is a judgment call.
Yeah, judgment.
I told the company I am signing him off. For the next 4 days I kept watch, but I got him off.
Yeah.
That is,
I do not have that luxury of coming and telling him, sit down please, how are you, you can do better, and all that. There are certain instances,
Yeah.
so you don't get two chances in most cases.
Correct. That's why the judgment call, a judgment call is very subjective. But in order to make it fair, it should be based on critical evaluation. Although it is very subjective because it's based on your opinion, not the opinion of the tribunal or head office or what. But you must make it based on critical evaluation, meaning using as much as evidence as you have, whatever evidence you have, whatever specific instances, then you make your judgment. Then you make your judgment.
So you see, the times have also changed. 30 years back, we did not have this problem of an AV wondering about his wife, because he was not in contact with her.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Now when he is
No,
on
it's
the break
okay.
also, he is in contact
Yeah.
with his wife who is telling him what is the price of tomatoes and potatoes.
Yeah.
So is that good or is that bad?
Well, change is internet. That's why you're saying 10 years ago it was not a problem. Now, we have to accept this, We have to accept it. Yeah. It's part of the challenge, 24/7.
not a
It's
challenge.
risk management also. It's part of the challenge now. People now, our staff are now more equipped with information what's going on with his kids back at home. And yet he's physically here in the ship. You know, and it's emotionally affecting him. His radar watch, you know, he's not focused. So you have to use your judgment.
Actually, the communication process, what it's saying is correct, that the emotion part has gone up very, very high.
Very high.
Very high.
No, that professional approach to a job is what I feel is missing, that I'm here to do a specific job. I need to do it, whatever are the pressures at the back of my mind. I should be able to put them in a compartment, do my job which is required of me, because there are 25 other people who rely on me to do my job.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the type of industry is different.
Yeah.
A clerk in an office, if he's got problems with his wife, not a problem.
Yeah.
But if my watchkeeper is looking at the radar screen and all he can see is girlfriend's face and that, boy, I'm in trouble.
So just use your judgment call. Based on evidence is available, based on company rules or whatever.
Yeah, many times the evidence is not like black and white, you know.
Yeah.
After so many years, you can
Nothing
see
in
those
this
things
world
also.
is black and white. Nothing in this world is black and white. Nothing in this world is black and white. So a lot of times using whatever information you have. So long as you stay with, with the morals, what is right, the morality of what is right and what is wrong.
Moralities of the victor.
Remember the slide that we used earlier? Doing things right and doing the right thing. The leader, earlier, the leader, because it's too many slides a while ago. Yeah, do what is right. As opposed to just doing things right, just do the right thing at the right time. Just do the right thing based on your judgment. Critical evaluation. Although it is subjective, yes, but to make it objective, base it on evidence, base it on information. If you have some witnesses, so much together, yes. It's nothing personal, it's just a job. It's not because you don't like his face, you don't like him, no. It should be based on, performance. Now you're saying years ago it wasn't a problem, it's going to be more of a problem as years come. As the future arrives, because there will be better technology and then they'll be knowing what the problems
I'm
are.
waiting for that time when we'll have unmanned ships.
So we have to manage change. I think that's one of your competencies. I think that is one of the competencies that we have already in TK. Managing change, or change management. Change management. We all have to adapt to that. It's like, for example, not so much on the behavioral aspect now, on the navigation side. Because of change of the world. The Arctic melted. And because of that, ships now can pass through Arctic and make a shortcut instead of going around Africa or India. Just go north and end up with a shorter time. And what are the implications there? Many implications. And it's part of change. It's part of change. So, since change management or managing change is part of your competency, it's something that we have to embrace. Use it as, face it as a reality. Something that we have to accept as a reality and make it part of our repertoire, as a leader. It's already ingrained. That's the beauty of the competency of leadership and directing and motivation. It requires a lot of judgment call. It requires a lot of critical thinking. Unlike the other functions, which was described earlier in the earlier slides, what is management? It says the planning, staffing, controlling. Those are the easier parts. Those are the easier parts. But I tell you, even if you ask people like Maxwell or Robbins or Ken Blanchard or DIO or any author of leadership, they will tell you the most difficult competency of all is leadership. Because it's very subjective. It's very subjective. That's the most difficult. Everything rests upon you. Now, using your judgment call, you make the corresponding decision. Now, unlike the other functions, planning, how to budget, how to make the annual plan, operating expense, variable cost, fixed cost, those things are easy. Controls, what are the monitoring tools? Staffing, who to hire, who to fire, who to retire. All these things are easy. It's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. But leadership is X plus Y plus Z, square root of a lot of variables. Why? Because the bottom line there is people. And people is behavior. Behavior is variable. You give him all the battery of exams, pre-employment exams, he said, oh, this guy's mentally fit, psychologically fit. But what's the guarantee that this guy will perform based on the psychological exams when he is out there in the field, in operation, in a critical situation, in a crisis mode? You think he will be as stable as he is based on the psychological exams? No guarantee.